Right. I'm seeing everybody fly in here on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon, everybody, or evening, where you
Great.
might be joining us from. Let's make
Thank you.
sure
Thank you.
everybody mute coming in here. Kia, can you please help with that? Thank you. All right, you guys. As I'm just sitting here preparing to that was really special that happened to me recently. And I learned something really fascinating about my mom for the very first time. Something that I never knew about her that actually relates to a lot of what it is that we're going to talk about today. And every Sunday, I call my dad. I have done this for my whole life. My parents were divorced. And so when I would go visit my mom, I call every day or every week and talk to him. And I still do this. I'm 41 and I still call my dad every week. Anybody call their parents every week to check in because I just love catching up with him. And we were talking the other day and he was saying how much my brother was like my mom and I was like my mom. And I was like, really? I was like, tell me more about that. Because the thing is that my mom and I didn't have the greatest relationship, to be totally honest with you. And it wasn't just typical, mother-daughter things that were happening. My mom dealt with a lot of personal challenges in life. She actually was an alcoholic. And in 2016, unfortunately, I lost her to that addiction. And so it's sometimes really challenging for me to recall some of the joyful moments and wonderful, beautiful things about her. And I really just asked my dad to share more of that. And the thing that he chose to share about her was so surprising to me. I was taken aback by this. And so as we're talking, and he's like, well, you're so much like your mom and your mannerisms in so many different ways. And I was like, really? I was like, tell me more about that. What is it that is really standing out to you right now? And he's like, well, the way that you actually like perceive health. He's like, the way that you go against the grain from the conventional health perspective and you dabble in these alternative therapies and you guys probably know this, like our families don't always truly understand what it is that we do. So first of all, listening to him try to articulate it was actually really interesting to me. And he said, even though your mom worked in a hospital, my mom was a phlebotomist. My mom was the best phlebotomist out there. Like if I ever got my blood drawn and there was even like the minorest little, insight that they did it incorrectly, like if I had a bruise, she would be up in arms about it. Like, who stuck you wrong? Blah, blah, blah. So my mom was a phlebotomist and she worked in the hospital setting for majority of her career. And I didn't know this about her, that she actually was kind of on the fringe and she was against conventional medical practices or challenged them, even though she worked in that setting. And I was like, this is the most beautiful gift that my dad possibly could have ever given me, to help me reconnect with her in this special way, to know that like the reason that I am here teaching you all today, the reason that I am a functional health practitioner is even more because of her than I ever could have imagined, right? Because I always looked at our story together and her experience in life and how that shaped me to be the person that I am and how that contributed to my health challenges that I faced and I've resolved as a functional health practitioner. And so I always looked at the struggles and the issues as part of what connected us in this field. And to get this little gem from him the other day, that there was actually something more intrinsic about that we shared together, or that we shared together, was actually so amazing. And I also think that that is why all of us here are connected as well. Like we're here because we want to have a greater impact in the world. And with that, we want to take care of ourselves and generate a healthy income. And so the goal today is to help you figure out where to go find the clients, these ideal clients of yours that you can have this impact on, right? And how to bring them into your services and your offerings so that you can actually truly transform their. So as we move into today, this training today, I just say a little prayer and thank you to my mom for everything that she has given me to be here with all of you today, and that I have this beautiful opportunity to share what I have learned as a functional health practitioner for over 12 years now, the things that have helped to make not only me successful, but that I've shared with others to help them generate success as well too. So let's dig right in, you guys. We're going to cover a lot of ground in the next 55 minutes. So shut off all the other devices, distractions, get your cameras on, plug in with me, because if you truly want to walk out of here with actual tactical, practical things that you can implement immediately in your business, you got to be plugged in with me for the next 55 minutes. Are we all agreed on that? Because we're going right into the speedway. So here's what I know in the last 7 years of business coaching. So I've been a health practitioner for over 12 years, and I've been business coaching for over 7 years. And the most common questions I get asked by functional health practitioners and coaches are things like, where can I find my ideal clients? What social media platform should I post on? Do I have to be on social media to get clients? And there's a lot of places to market yourself, some of them with quicker returns, and some of them are a long game. So here what we've got on the screen, oh, I actually need to share my screen with you guys. That would help, right? So let's do that first real quick. So that you can actually see what I'm talking about. I was so excited, I jumped right in. All right, we're sharing screen now. So as I was saying, there are a lot of places to market yourself, some of them with quicker returns, and some of them are more of a long game. And we can here, like essentially there's 5 different kind of places or categories of where we can go out and start marketing ourselves, or we can dabble in a lot of these different places. There's referrals from partnerships and clients. There's things like in-person stuff that we can be doing, workshops, talks, and networking events. There's social media, obviously, which seems to be the most popular topic of conversation, but I'll tell you, it's not actually the right thing for everybody. There's media like podcasts, TV, print, webinars, and summits. And there's the wide, vast world of the internet, which is going to things like websites and your paid ads. And so the question really is, which ones are right for you? And the truth is that all successful businesses start with organic customer traffic, not paid ads and not social media strategies. These things actually come later. Success requires a foundation, and there is a unique guide for every health business owner to follow that will yield the greatest results for your exact business and help build up upon that foundation. So today, our goal is to help you develop that unique guide for your unique business. And therefore, we're going to cover today what I want you to walk away knowing is the #1 most powerful marketing tool at your fingertips to actually attract your ideal clients, how to determine the most effective marketing strategy for your business, and the 3 essential stages of a consultation in order to easily enroll clients without feeling salesy. And all of this ultimately is going to increase your impact, be able to reach those people that need your help the most, which is then going to impact and increase your income so that you can scale your business with freedom, because there's no point in being a functional health practitioner if we're going to scale a business that's going to create a burden. We have to scale a business that's going to have freedom in it as well too. So here's the thing that I want you to know, and I want you to really be open to this as we talk about this concept here, is that truly being of service to others and scaling with freedom starts with narrowing in on who you can serve the best. The most successful businesses across all industries, you guys, focus on serving only 3% of the marketplace. Trying to serve everyone is what spreads us too thin, and we can't actually show up 100% for anyone in that state. And we certainly can't operate effectively or efficiently when we are doing that. What most functional health practitioners and coaches don't realize is that nailing a niche is critical, as you can see here, to developing every other aspect of your business, including your website, packages, programs, social media content, and so much more. I want you to think about this like we think about lab testing. We do lab testing to guide health improvement recommendations for our clients, right? Your niche does the same exact thing for all components of your business. Without a niche, your marketing efforts are going to miss the mark. You'll attract clients who don't show up or aren't really invested in the work, and you're quickly going to find yourself in burnout. Versus when you're clear on who your niche is, you'll know exactly where to find your ideal clients, what to say to attract them, and exactly how to get them results to increase that impact and income. So being clear about your niche or your ideal client, as we can call it, will guide and streamline all the different aspects of your business to let you scale with freedom. When we have an idea of who this niche is, this ideal client, you can then go out and start to gather targeted data continuously with something that we call target market research. So target market research is the specific lab testing that we are doing in our business to help us gather insights to guide the steps that we need to take. You can use target market research interviews to extract insights about your ideal client. During this process, when we're doing target market research, essentially what we're doing is we want to get on a phone, we want to get somebody in person with us, have a conversation with somebody who represents who our niche is and who this client is, so we can pick their brain. We can ask them questions about where do they spend their time? How do they like to consume information? What topics do they actually care about? And what other interests do they have? When you know who your ideal client is, you'll know where to then kind of get this data to help you focus your efforts, help you understand what kind of content to create, and then help you connect with them to basically build a relationship that's going to eventually convert them into a paying client, right? And I just talked to a practitioner in our community the other day who is making 70K a year, by the way, without a website or social media. It's all referral based and local partnerships. And this is working for her because she's honed in on her niche, who her ideal client is. Where are they spending their time? What kinds of things are they doing? Who can she collaborate with in her local community? And what kind of messaging or marketing, like content, exact words does she need to be that's going to attract them and effortlessly turn them into clients? So target market research is something that I teach other people how to do. We give you a specific list of questions to guide you in this process so you know exactly what to ask in order to gather the insights and data that we want to help guide the steps that we're going to take. Just like we know exactly what lab tests we need to gather information to then be able to make recommendations, right? And this is a strategy that I have applied for ever since the beginning of my business, so over 10 years. And here's a little insight about how it has guided my marketing strategies over time to help me get the greatest return on my marketing efforts, essentially. So when I first started my business, just like we said earlier, it's all about organic leads and organic traffic, essentially, right? So I looked and said, who's my ideal person? Where are they spending time? What kinds of things are they doing? And so some of the actions that I took in the beginning of my business to attract clients, connect with people, get those clients was a lot of local partnerships. So I partnered with my yoga studio, with my kettlebell studio. I reached out to my personal training friends because I came up through the fitness industry as a personal trainer. And I created opportunities with them to do different types of workshops, in-person events, create referral partnerships. This was how I initially started to grow my email list, and how I actually started to get referrals for clients, essentially. Then, as I started to extract more insights about my ideal client utilizing target market research, one of the things that I found was that my ideal clients were searching for information on online journals such as Mind, Body, Green and Elephant Journal. So then part of my marketing strategy became to publish journals in these spaces that got me clients, right? Eventually then what happened was, as I continued to do target market research, I found that my ideal clients were kind of evolving with the space, evolving with what was out there. And I found out that webinars became a strategic strategy for me. And eventually podcasting, being a podcast guest was the most effective strategy for me. At one point in time, I figured out that my ideal clients were no longer gathering information or going to online journals like Elephant Green and Mind Body Green, or Elephant Journal and Mind Body Green, for information anymore. They had shifted in their own information gathering, and they were listening to more podcasts, and they were on Instagram. So guess what I did? I shifted my strategy. I stopped stop spending time writing articles for these online journals and paying an assistant to submit journals, right? Or articles. I shifted those efforts into hiring somebody to help pitch me on podcasts and doing some social media. Social media was not a thing when I first started as it is today. And eventually this has grown into being a guest on summits as well too, right? But all of this whole roadmap, this journey has been guided on where does my ideal client spend their time? And when I know where they are spending their time, now I know where to go and get in front of them, right? Which is going to produce the results. It's going to give you the greatest investment of your return on your investment of time and any kind of money that you might be putting into this. I have never run Facebook ads, by the way, or any kind of ads. I've maybe have done the occasional like post boost on Instagram or Facebook, but I have generated a multi-six-figure business without running ads. That is not a requirement. I didn't even have a website in the beginning either. And it's all because honing in on who that ideal client is gave me the direction, the exact direction that I needed to go find those clients. Now, once you know where your clients are, you also need to know what to say, right? So guess what? Your niche also guides you on what to say. And I can already sense in the room here that we might be feeling a little bit of resistance about it, which I totally get it, right? You've worked super hard to get your credentials and you're proud of them, as you should be. However, your credentials don't clearly communicate what it is that you do. So you guys, I'm encouraging you to actually ditch your credentials, ditch the concepts of being a gut health expert or a hormone health expert, because none of those things actually clearly communicate what it is that you do. And so we have to ditch those credentials, we have to ditch those concepts, those constructs, and we have to really lean into this concept of figuring out who your niche is and that ideal client that's going to help you to develop a core marketing message that will actually attract those people into your business. And I'm going to, in just a moment, I am going to actually show you how to break free of the resistance of niching down in your business. But before we do that, I want to share an experience with you that one of the practitioners that I've worked with has had about how understanding her niche has gained her the kind of clarity that we are talking about right now.
Yeah, and thanks. And you don't even always realize it, like even in listening to you say what you're saying, or even this first part of the presentation, like I've been with you for over a year, so I feel like I know things about you and I learned so much more. Yeah, it really is such a key part, because from a brain perspective, we get so scattered and so inefficient when we're trying to do everything at once. And so when you come to this place of a niche, you can actually be more clear in all of the aspects, whether that is putting together programs. And even that in and of itself is so amazing when you have these lines of what you do. And when you say them over and over to yourself, then you realize, yeah, this is the part of me, that this is what I do. because I think there's such a mindset piece as well with all of this. And when you're coming up with your niche and you're thinking about, well, wait, I don't want to just do gut, or I don't want to just do this. But when you start to get, and then you think if it's gut or something like that, you get the whole scarcity. Wait, this guy's doing this, or she's doing gluten-free, or she's doing gut, or da, da, da. But when you become more clear with what you do, it does get more specific. And even if it's gut and there's 100 other people doing gut, there's a certain thing about you and gut that's different than 99 of the other people. And so it really helps to give you even the drive to go forward when you get more clear in your niche, and then all the other marketing and program development and everything else.
Exactly. So let's help liberate you guys about this whole niching concept so you can successfully move forward. Because like I said, I can already feel in the room the resistance or the triggered feelings coming up about niching, because I used to feel this way too. I used to sit there and go, but I can help everybody. It's so hard to even consider niching down into a specific area. So let's move this energy right now so that you can walk away from this training with the action items and tools that are actually going to create more success for you right away. And I love, by the way, that we are doing this little exercise right here. We're doing this training on a full moon, because the full moon is all about releasing energy that's no longer serving us anymore. So we're going to release this resistance to niching. The idea of niching is triggering for health professionals because we want to help everybody. That is like our desire, right? And the reality is not everybody is ready to be helped. We all know that. How many of you have tried to drag a friend or family member, somebody down the path of better health, and they are dragging their heels, right? Not everybody is ready to take that help yet. And the traditional approaches to niching focus on demographics. And this is where a lot of the triggering comes from. So if you've ever attended, other types of business or marketing trainings, when they talk about narrowing down on a niche, they're really going to focus on demographics. What's an age range, what's a gender, and be condition specific. So sometimes narrowing down on a niche can feel super limiting, or it can feel really limiting because of these constructs, right? These categories. And honestly, like honing in on even a specific condition such as thyroid or autoimmunity doesn't necessarily mean that you found a niche. This is still a category. And you actually, Debbie just mentioned that in her little segment or clip that we had there with her, is that you can still be niched into a specific condition category, but what is the 3% within that category that is going to create the greatest success for you? Who is the person within that category? So, and narrowing in on that specific condition doesn't necessarily set you apart from the rest of the health professionals out there, and it certainly isn't the selling point. So I like to help people liberate themselves with a non-traditional approach to niching, which is what liberated me from this resistance in order to build a successful business with freedom and help the most aligned people that were aligned for me and have that impact that I truly desire. And this is where your story is what makes you unique as a functional health practitioner. Among the hundreds, if not thousands of health practitioners out there, this is what makes you stand out in the crowd. It's the ultimate deciding factor on why a client would choose you over somebody else here in the room. Your story is how you relate to your potential clients. It's how you instantly build rapport and trust with them. And it's how you overcome vulnerability and objection and barriers in a consultation as well, too. So the first step to finding your niche and your ideal client is actually to refamiliarize yourself with your own stories. Often as we elevate in our education, we forget where we came from. And as the experts, we are light years ahead of where our clients currently are in their health journey. So we have to get back into the shoes of our former selves to reconnect with what our ideal clients are currently dealing with, and therefore what our niche looks like. People connect with and make purchases because of emotions and feelings. Think about your last big purchase. What did why did you do it? You likely paid good money for something that was going to make you feel good in some kind of way, whether that was more confident, happy, joyful, warm, cozy, or strong, right? So in this non-traditional approach to niching, what we really want to focus on are what's called psychographics. Psychographics are the primary focus in this concept to help you get clear on things like the feelings, the emotions, the personality traits, and the characteristics of your niche or your ideal client, most of which, if not all of them, can be seen within you yourself. I want you to take a moment and take that in. Your ideal client is a reflection of you. They are a version of you. They're like the former you that needs what you currently have right now as solutions for them. This also instantly dissolves any imposter syndrome. When we know that we are helping our former self, a reflection or a version of our former self, we already know that we have the solutions for them because we're farther ahead in the journey at this moment, right? Here's the other really cool thing about this is that there is science that actually backs this up. There are studies about this. Your story is the #1 most powerful marketing tool at your fingertips. In 2010, a study found that stories actually increase the release of oxytocin. We all know here the power of oxytocin, right? It's an empathy chemical that motivates cooperation, understanding, and trust. Wouldn't you say that those are some really important factors or qualities when trying to convince a potential client that you have a valuable service that they might want to invest in? That there needs to be some motivation of cooperation, understanding, and trust. There needs to be a level of connection. We also know oxytocin is like that connection between a mother and a child, right? It bridges that gap. It builds that rapport and trust. So knowing this, who is ready to ditch their credentials and tell more stories to actually get more clients? I see some head nods. I love that. Drop it in the chat if you're a hell yes right now. And this actually leads us to the first key to finding and enrolling your clients is utilizing this information. We can now construct a core marketing message. A core marketing message is going to have 3 parts to it. It's going to be part number 1, which is your niche pitch. This is like your elevator pitch or your hero statement. It's how you can, in 30 seconds or less, grab somebody's attention with transformational language. It hooks them and it calls them into action with you. Part number 2 of your core marketing message is your transformational statements. These are 3 simple statements that simplify the complex concepts, the things that we do with the unique solutions. And these become the main marketing themes and content guide for your entire business. And then the third part of your core marketing message is your story, your #1 marketing tool that helps you to connect directly with your ideal client. And it helps you to curate endless content ideas. And all we do is go 1, 2, 3, hit repeat, 1, 2, 3, hit repeat. So I want to show you what it looks like. I'm going to share my niche pitch with you. So this is when somebody asks me what I do not say I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. Those words mean nothing to the average person. It's a bunch of fancy words strung along together that have no context. When people ask me what I do, I say, I help busy, health-minded professionals find the missing pieces to their health puzzle so they can actually fix what is wrong and get back to feeling like themselves again, or for the very first time. See how simple and clear that is? Or I might say, when somebody asks me what I do, I might say, well, have you yourself ever had this experience or know somebody who's like doing all of the right things, eating healthy, exercising, supplementing, trying various diets, and being told that their blood work always looks normal, but they don't feel that way? They just feel like something is missing. Well, those are the people that I help. I help busy, health-minded professionals find those missing pieces to their health puzzle so they can actually fix what is wrong and get back to feeling like themselves again. Immediately, that person out there that's just like me, because this came from my story, you guys, is having this experience and wants this solution also. So based on that story, based on knowing who my ideal client is, now I can also like continue to elaborate and draw them in more and explain clearly what it is that I do, what like address their problems with solutions, utilizing the three transformational statements. So these three transformational statements explain how you work with clients in three simple focal points. It's basically the summary of your method in words that your potential clients can actually understand, languaged in a way that connects with something that they want, not something that you know that they need. Because we know that they need self-care, but they don't want self-care, right? So we have to be able to communicate to them in a way that sounds like something that they want. And so these statements are based on the primary problems that you have probably personally faced in your own health journey, because let's be honest, not probably everybody in the room here is here because they've had a personal health journey, either solving themselves or a family member or a loved one, right? And so this is going to come from your story, essentially. And then it's also going to incorporate some of those key turning points that you've experienced so far, which are the solutions to the problem, right? And as I said earlier, I've worked with enough functional health practitioners and to know that some of you might be thinking, but I haven't healed myself yet. And that's totally okay, right? Because when we stay within alignment of our story, we are working to help our former self. So you already are two steps, you're always going to be two steps ahead of the person who needs your help. There's no need for that imposter syndrome. So the beauty of being authentic and sharing your story means that you're always going to be ahead of them and you're always going to have exactly what it is that they need. So as an example for you, here are my three transformational statements. This is how I explain to somebody what it is that I do, how I expand on the niche pitch. So I help busy health-minded professionals find the missing pieces of their health puzzle so they can actually fix what is wrong and get back to feeling like themselves again. Oh, really? Well, how do you do that? Well, when I work with clients, there's three main things that I focus on. One is figuring out what foods are right for their body so they can function at their potential and instantly have more energy. That is taking the complex words and complexities of food sensitivity testing and metabolic typing and micronutrient panels and simmering it down into a simple way to say it and something in a way that sounds attractive to them. It's solving their problem, right? The second thing that I focus on is finding those missing pieces of your health puzzle with functional lab testing so we can restore balance to your body. Taking that complex concept of functional lab testing and all the things that we do with that and relating it to their experience with a solution. And then the third thing is how I take the concept of self-care and make it sound attractive. Teaching you how to tune into your body and give it exactly what it needs at any time so that you can maintain the results, continue making progress, and always feel like your best self. So under that is all the self-care things that I'm going to teach them that I know that they need, but they don't want to hear it. They don't want that. They're like, I'm busy. I ain't got time for self-care, right? But what they do want is they want to be in control of their health. So this is where I'm giving them the keys to the car that makes it sound magnetic and attractive. And as I said, these three transformational statements remember, they're a piece of your core marketing message, right? They also become the themes for all of your content. And it's how you actually curate magnetic content. We look at these themes, we look at these statements, and we go, okay, now that we know what the statement is, what the transformation is, we're going to help them figure out what foods are right for their body so they can function at their potential. How do we use that theme to come up with creative topics or titles or subject lines that are actually going to speak to those individuals and pull them in, address their problems with solutions? So this has helped me to curate some of this type of magnetic content. Remember, I talked about doing workshops at my local yoga studio and kettlebell studio? Well, that workshop was called Dial in Your Diet. They're frustrated with food. They want to figure out what foods are right for their body. We're going to dial in your diet, right? I also like my lead magnet or opt-in, how I collect email addresses and build my email list, is I have a food and body language log to help them figure out what foods are right for their body so they can function at their potential. For those of you, any FDNs here on the line right now? Because if you're an FDN, this food and body language log is like I've taken the diet check record and I have modified it a bit, and this is that tool. Also, coming up with catchy or like disruptive subject lines. Calorie counting is a big fat lie. This is one of the most popular articles that I put out there. They're frustrated with food. They're trying to figure out what's right for their body. They're counting calories and it's not working, right? Why diet and exercise aren't enough. This is their experience of I'm doing all the right things, but I'm not getting the results. I feel like there's missing pieces to my health puzzle. Or why juice cleanses don't work, or eat fat to lose fat, right? So I promised you guys, if you were paying attention to my emails coming to this webinar or this training, that I was going to do some laser coaching with you guys. So I'm going to bring, I think we can fit in 2 people, whoever's quickest on the trigger to raise your hand right now. I'm going to bring you up. We're going to talk about your niche, what we think your niche is, and we're going to curate maybe a piece of maybe one of these magnetic kind of themed content pieces. So I see Divine, love that name. We've got one hand up. We're going to see if we can get in one more. Quickest on the trigger on your Zoom there. Oh, I see your hand raised. Rhiannon, you're up next. So, all right, Divine, come on up. We're going to put 3 minutes on the clock. And go ahead and unmute yourself. And I want you to I want you to attempt real quickly, give me a brief summary of who you think your niche is, your ideal client.
So my ideal client is exhausted, yet smart and driven mom who is exhausted, but also, dealing with all the symptoms like dryness of mouth, joint pains, extreme fatigue, and has gone to the doctor and has got no real answers and is frustrated and wants real answers. So,
Okay. What are they trying that's not working?
so they have tried, they have gone the medication route, and that has not worked for them yet. And whenever they go to the doctor, all they get is that it's all in your head. There's nothing we can do. And whether we can put you on some other medication. So that is what I've tried. And they've tried different diets, like the vegan diet, like probably the AIP diet. They're still confused, not getting better.
Great. And what ultimately is it that they want to experience instead?
So what they want to experience is get their health back that it was before they got these symptoms, and they want real answers as well.
And what is really important about getting their health back? Why does that matter to them?
So that they can give their fullest to their kids, because they're busy moms, so they really care about their kids and also their family, and be able to be present fully for like the friends when they go out with friends, to be there fully, when they're out with the family, be out there with the family fully, and not be worrying about the dryness or the pain or the exhaustion. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. So we could come up with something like a busy mom's 5-minute guide to health restoration so you can fully be with your family again.
Yeah, that's nice. Jen, could you repeat that? I'm sorry for my dogs.
Yeah. A busy mom's 5-minute guide to restore your health so you can fully be present with your family again. We could say, when I work with busy, frustrated moms who want real answers, one of the main things that I focus is giving them simple 5-minute strategies to restore their health so they can be fully present with their families.
Yeah.
What I want you
Yeah.
all to notice right now, what just happened is like, see how I took the exhausted, busy moms component? That is that's the psychographics aspect that it is extremely important to talk to those points because they're busy. They've got families. They can't, if you threw something too complex at them, what are they going to do? That's going to be repelling to them, right? We have to talk to them. How do we make this process easy for them? That's all them their answers and give them what they want, which is to be fully present with their families.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Makes
Awesome.
sense. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Rhiannon, am I saying your name correctly, by the way?
Yes, thanks. Yeah, no, my actual busy client is very similar to hers. Mine's just a little bit more like hormone based. So my ideal client is a busy working professional, age 35 to mid 50s, joint pain, food sensitivities, fatigue, and weight gain.
Okay. How do they explain their problems? I don't want to know their conditions. How do they show up talking about them to you?
They've tried every diet. They might have a diagnosis. Their blood work looks normal. Nothing works.
Nothing works. Okay, so I'm gonna give you one of mine. We can work off a little bit because I think this is part for them too. What ultimately do they want? What do they want to be experiencing in their life instead?
More energy and being able to work all of those hours and not feel completely exhausted.
So they want long-lasting energy, right?
Yes.
Sustainable energy.
And not react to every food out there.
So one of the like webinar titles that I've used in my business, or it's like a podcast title, is why typical blood tests don't tell you squat and what you should be testing instead.
Nice.
Yeah. So you could use something, because like what would be interesting, and maybe do you do blood work in your practice?
No blood work. I do Dutch, I do adrenal, and a lot of stool tests as well.
Okay, so you might do something like lab tests that your doctor knows nothing about, that are going to give you the real answers to long-lasting energy.
Love it.
Right? So see how we're tapping into their experience, what is the problem, and then what is the outcome, the solution that they're looking for, right? We could also say what might be interesting, because you could use the blood work experience of five insights your blood work says to give you long-lasting energy. And this might be where you pull them in and educate them and be like, if your blood work says this, we need to run a Dutch test to explore that deeper, right?
Yes.
Like if your blood work says this, maybe we need to do a GI map to look at that deeper ultimately, right? So awesome. Thank you for playing along, ladies. I appreciate that. How amazing with that? Clap around the room, drop an awesome or a heart in the chat. Laser coaching like this is the most popular resource in my Business Essentials program. It is one of the things that I actually love doing the most. I could do it all day long. Because look at how it produces like breakthroughs and quick results instantly, right? So I would love to stay here with you and coach like this all day. We have more content to cover. However, because this is part that I love the most, and I knew all of you would love it so much too. For those of you who stay till the end, my team has curated a special opportunity for you to get some more laser coaching with me, right? Because we were kind of in the moment here, so we want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity. So let's move on. And I want to show you just some quick examples. Like if you guys go over to my Instagram page, Holistic Health Boss, now that you're kind of familiar with my niche pitch and my 3 transformational statements, you are going to see this core marketing message so solid over there. Me sharing like little moments in my story, bringing in the themes. This was the challenge, and then I figured this out, and I'm going to help you figure out how to find the right foods for your body so you can function at your potential too. Like one of the moments that's so crystal clear in my mind, an experience that I had in my story was, I'm going to date myself here, but when skinny jeans came on the scene, I thought I was never going to be able to wear a pair. I loathed my thighs. I hated wearing shorts and skirts because I always, no matter what I did with diet and exercise, I always struggled to maintain my weight. And it wasn't until I figured out what foods are right for my body that it could function in its potential. I had more energy and it was so much easier to get the weight off and to keep it off, right? I literally have had clients show up in my consultations when I ask them about their goals and they'll say, I just want to fit into my skinny jeans and my tall boots in the fall and not feel like a stuffed sausage. And I'm like, yep, been there, can help you do that, right? So they will literally reflect your little words back to you, right? All right. Nurture alert here though. So tune in on this one, you guys. Listen up, because aside from creating magnetic content like we just talked about, you also have to create consistency and high quality target market touch points. And this is another mind-blowing, like data-driven, there's research that shows this from the marketing world, is that it takes at least 20 touch points, 20 interactions with somebody, and upwards of 500 before somebody will become a customer. So this is why it is critically important in everything that you do, no matter what type of marketing you are going to go out there and do, whether it's in-person talks or social media, the priority of every single marketing effort should be to build your email list, not necessarily get somebody on a discovery call or a consult right away. This is a huge pitfall for some practitioners. They hit somebody with a cold call offer way too quickly. We have to build a relationship with them. We have to accumulate those touch points. So this is why you always want to think about capturing, what we call in marketing, capturing your leads first. As you go out into the marketing world, as you start marketing yourself, number one goal is to get their email, get their contact information, get them on your list. When they're on our email list, this is where we can continue to consistently create high quality target market touch points with them. Building trust is actually what's going to lead to that discovery call. So real quick summary here on some of the things that I promised that I was going to teach you about the 3 keys to finding and enrolling clients. So far, we've covered having a core marketing message. We just talked about consistent high quality touch points. You have to consistently keep showing up on wherever you're going to market yourself, moving them onto an email list and creating those touch points, interactions with them. The third thing is having clear solution-driven packages. And the easiest way to remember this is just think about the 3 C's: core, consistent, and clear. Core, consistent, and clear. Foundations to your success. So we're going to move into how you actually easily enroll these clients, right? So once you know where to find clients, what to say to attract them with magnetic content, and are consistently creating touch points, this is the roadmap to more discovery calls, or what we call consultations. And quite possibly the biggest pitfall for all practitioners and coaches. Once you've made it this far, you don't want to fumble the ball. It's time to bring it in for a win for you and in order to get a win for you and the person who needs your help, right? So yet again, this is where our niche is going to help drive our enrollment call conversations. It's going to help us to know what we're going to say. Those 3 transformational statements that we talked about earlier actually become part of the conversation. And there are 3 stages of consultations. This is a proven formula that I've used time and time again in my business, that I teach others how to do, that you guys are going to get the insights to right now. Stage number 1 is, like, I do 45-minute sessions, by the way, consultations. So if you do 30 minutes or smaller, you can just chunk this down. But stage number 1 is all about building rapport while forming an impression. For me, this is that first 10 to 15 minutes. This is where we're creating connection, being personable, and identifying their main complaints and getting kind of like a high-level health history. This is essential and critical, you guys. How many people out there feel like they're not being heard? Nobody is listening to them. How many of you have felt like that yourself? You do not go into these calls just dumping information on them. You need to listen to them first. So that is what we are doing here. We are listening. We are helping them feel heard. We're also gathering data and insights at the same time. And then we nicely and elegantly transition into stage 2. Stage 2 is the middle section. This is 10 to 15 minutes, identifying intrinsic motivation and desires to overcome those objections. So I actually just did this to Divine and Rhiannon as well. I asked you, what ultimately is it that you want your clients, do your clients want to experience? What matters to them? Why do they want to lose weight or get their energy back? It's so they can show up fully for their families, or they can live a purpose-driven life, right? So we really want to get down deep into what is it that they actually want, and why is that important to them? And then how important is it to them? This actually helps us to qualify if they are the right client to work with us, and if they're ready to do the work. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you to have all of that? If they're not a 9 or a 10, you don't work with them. We cannot lead the horse to water and make them drink. We have to let them go. And I have had high-level, C-level executives show up on my practice that literally have the money to spend. And we get to this question. She said she was a 7. And I said, that's interesting, based on the fact that you have to know where the closest bathroom is all the time and how it disrupts your life. I'm curious why you wouldn't think that you're a 10. And she literally said back to me, I just don't think I'm ready to make myself a priority yet. I can't help that person, right? We have to be able to let them go and only take the right people into our practice. So when they do say that they're a 9 or a 10, you acknowledge them and you say, I'm so glad that you said that, because you're ready to do the work and you're exactly the type of person I work with. I love, listen to this, I love working with busy, health-minded professionals like you to help you find the missing pieces of your health puzzle so that we can fix what's wrong and get you back to feeling like yourselves again, right? So let me, this is where we paint the picture, mirror back to them, and we move into making that irresistible offer. So we're connecting the dots. Here's what I heard you say. Here's the impression that I'm getting about what's going on with you. You said you had painful irregular periods when they started. Now you're having these hormonal issues. You were a C-section baby. Your gut has been messed up basically since the inception of your birth into the world, right? We get to connect the dots and show them that this has been going on for a really long time, which plants the seed that it's going to take time for them to heal also. You check in with them. Does that make sense to you? Oh my gosh, totally makes sense. Nobody's ever explained it to me like that before. Great. I'm so glad it's making sense to you. Would you love to hear a little bit more about how we might be able to work together and how we can solve some of these problems? Yes. Awesome. When I work with clients like you, there's basically 3 main things that I focus on. Figuring out what foods are right for your body so you can function at your potential, finding the missing pieces of your health puzzle, and teaching you how to tune into your body to give it what it needs. I didn't say anything about lab testing. I didn't say anything about complexities of like the science of what we do or anything like that, right? I spoke to them on their terms. How does that sound to you? That sounds amazing. Fantastic. Let's talk about the different packages that I offer and see which one feels like a right fit for you. So this is where the packages come in. When you know who your ideal client is, you're going to be attracting a common person that has common problems that needs similar solutions. We already identified that. So you'll know how to best serve them, right? And so we can come up with our profitable packages that we have ready in the moment to talk clearly to them about. We're not scrambling, trying to custom create something, figure out pricing. We can confidently talk about how we work with people and what's included. So you can know exactly which labs are included, what types of sessions you're going to have with them, how many sessions you're going to have with them, how much time you're going to spend in sessions with them, how much time you're going to spend outside of sessions, and any other tools and resources that are going to help you to effectively and efficiently transform their life. When we know the exact details of what we are doing with somebody, now you can calculate it all together to create a profitable price. There is no more picking numbers out of thin air, praying that you're going to be profitable or throwing spaghetti on the wall to see if it will stick. So this actually is the inside details that I give to my community of my biggest total transformation practice package, excuse me. And by the way, you guys, I raised my rates in July. So this package is now $13,000. And yes, people will invest that amount of money for their health. But I want to show you this as an example. Like, look at how detailed I got with every single amount of time, inclusion here to actually know and value my time and make sure that my overhead costs were covered, right? So now we can add this all up, and this creates a roadmap for how we are going to work with somebody. And when we know what our package prices are, now we can actually reverse engineer our financial goals to get even more clear about, I know that I want to make $10,000 a month. I need to sell 1 to 2 of these packages. That means that I need to have X number of discovery calls. That means I know exactly what kind of efforts to put into my marketing to get those discovery calls, right? So if we were just to say, if you think right now in your mind, I want you to think about how much money you would like to be making per month. Drop it in the chat if you like, $10,000, $15,000, $5,000. This is a judgment-free zone. Whatever your number is, it's all relative to everybody, right? Or there's no comparison here. So if you think about how much money you want to make and you had a package like mine, if you had this $700, $800 package, how many clients would you need per month to hit that goal? So Julie said 10. So Julie, you'd need 2. Tiffany said 25. So Tiffany, I'm trying to do the math. What is that? Like 4 clients, right? At this package price. How easy does that sound to know that you maybe only need 2 to 5 clients a month to hit some pretty healthy financial goals, right? This is exactly what happens when people go through this process. By following these exact simple steps that we have gone through today, it immediately produces these types of results for your business. This is Piper. Got very clear on my niche to redesign my packages. I've been using Jen's scripts and I booked 2 $5,000 packages. She made $10,000 right there on the spot, and a $2,700 one down here, by the way. Piper's making over $1 million now in her business. Some of you might know Piper. She's an FDN. This also then gives us a blueprint or a roadmap for scalable solutions. It actually simplifies the decision-making process for the client when you are in a consultation with them, explaining and kind of giving them these irresistible offers. It builds your confidence because you know exactly what you're offering them and you have the blueprint about getting results. And it allows you to actually establish an organized workflow process to deliver great experiences to your clients and also work efficiently and effectively. This is the framework in order to be able to implement systems so that you can template, delegate, and automate that allows you to work smarter, not harder, and actually scale your business with freedom. Now, I recognize the need to do this very early on in my business. Once I had a handful of clients years ago in the beginning, I realized it wasn't sustainable or scalable. I needed to systematize, to template, delegate, and automate my business so that I could work less but help more people. And remember, you all have a responsibility here. You all have a responsibility to prioritize your health and take good care of yourself to lead by example for your clients. You cannot be burning the candle at both ends. You cannot be burnt out. So we have to utilize this framework in order to avoid that, right? These packages also then provide the concepts of the framework to run group programs, which can be a very easy point of entry to upsell into your one-on-one, or when it's right for your business, you can actually flip your business model so that group programs become the primary revenue source. But we don't do that in the beginning. Working one-on-one with people in these premium packages is your fastest path to cash and financial stability. And it proves your concepts and your method so that you can develop group programs and courses later. Now, Kia knows this. Kia is my assistant that's here. we just had something so cool happen on our group call the other day. I had my team instantly clip this video for you guys because this is the moments that I live for, and I know all of you do too. You have an update on that guy that we talked about in the PBE call on Tuesday?
Yes, that was so crazy.
Ha.
So I guess William had sent him he had sent him an email. He sent him 2 emails. And not those since we had spoken, but he just signed up this morning.
So I'm curious, what did we enroll him into? Was it a package? Like, what did he do?
Just did this, everything's all included, and then
And how much was that?
7,500.
That's what I wanted to hear, girlfriend.
Yeah.
I am so excited and proud of you guys
Oh,
because
thank you.
you came into this wondering, can we sell a high ticket package? And you just did.
We've sold 4, but we sold a $12,000 package this morning also.
What?
That was to a friend of ours, but nonetheless, we did send in what was the other one? 9,500. That was without supplements. So it's going good.
Hello.
Hi.
No, we signed up a guy. He's an orthopedic surgeon that we met at a wedding, and he reminded me of myself, like when I was like going, and I just had I'd wake up tired and I knew I was in trouble. He reminded me of myself, and really what I told him, I said, like, we need to make you like a professional athlete. You got to take care of your body. You got to eat right. You got to get the supplements. You got to do all this stuff. And he signed up, and in the first 2 weeks, he lost like 12 pounds. And his energy is through the roof. He's doing great. Blair's working with his wife to like get their whole family food situation set up. They planted a garden. They're doing some crazy stuff. And his health is literally, and he's in month 1. He's just started his 2nd month of supplements, and he is absolutely cranky.
I saw a lot of you guys doing it, and I'm like, I don't know how you're doing this. This is, but
Yeah. But it's it's like the getting clear on the niche and getting clear on the packaging of like, how are we going to do it that produces the results a little bit, right? And I love the other thing you just said, William, is this guy was me.
Yes, 100%.
Like, remember we were in you guys, I don't know what my niche is, and we're like, it's you. It's you.
yeah, for sure.
Well, and I also, he's a Western trained surgeon. He's like he's one of the best spine surgeons in Texas. Like he's a really, really high performer, and he's going to take what we do, and I bet he's going to want to incorporate it into his practice. Is what I bet will happen.
How many of you are like, your heart is so full for them right now, right? This is the Team Styles, as we call them, came to us. They had tried some other programs. This is the first time that they actually started making money in their business. And they were like, as you can hear, like kind of resisted the niching thing as well too. So there's a couple of things I want to point out to you is that one, William just said that this guy was like exactly like him. He is a urologist turned functional medicine doctor, right? And he went through his own health journey. As we've been talking about, your ideal clients, your niche are a reflection of you. He literally just said that this guy is me. I know how to help him. I also think it's fascinating. What I want to point out is that they've done zero marketing. They met this guy at a wedding. He's within their 6 degrees of separation, within their network. They haven't even gone out to do any marketing yet. Also, I want to point out that he is one of the top surgeons, right? This guy, this client of theirs is one of the top surgeons. Like a lot of people would feel intimidated by that. But they have the confidence that they can help him because they've gone through this process with us. So this is what's possible for all of you. I added up their 4 packages. These 4 packages equaled 30K for them just this month or within the last like week or so, basically. So This is all what's possible for you guys. These are the 3 keys to finding and enrolling clients. We just went through what these 3 keys were. You can take this content and get started right away. However, this is the point where we've heard that a lot of people feel really strong. They're like armed with the content, but they love to workshop on this and go deeper, and they crave an implementation framework and expert guidance and accountability. So we do have a program that helps you go from here today in this training with us to making 10K or more right away by finding and enrolling your ideal clients, on just like you saw with some of our program participants. Because the number one thing that we've heard from people in this space, specifically in this functional health industry, is that even if they have the content, sometimes they stumble with things like, how do I put it into action? How do I actually make it come to fruition? So our program, our Business Essential program, takes you through a step-by-step process for that exactly. So would it be cool with you if I share with you what exactly that program looks like for those of you who feel like you would love a framework and some expert guidance and implementation? I'm seeing some head nods. Awesome. So let me tell you what it's like to go through the Business Essentials experience with you. I want to outline what is going to happen when you go through the Practitioner's Business Essentials with us. And I want you to be prepared, because this is big stuff. What happens with our clients like Blair and William who go through this is big stuff. This is life-changing, you guys. So the first thing that we take you through is nailing your niche and crafting that core marketing message so that you can stand out in the crowd and attract your ideal client. The second thing that we move you into from there is designing those profitable packages to work more efficiently and effectively and have that confidence to create the impact and income that you desire. The third step is we help you to cut through the confusion and get straight to your audience with the specific marketing strategies that are most aligned for you, that are going to connect you with your ideal audience so you can generate revenue immediately like they just did. And you're also going to learn to leverage our proven discovery call script. So we give you an exact script to use. That's what they've been using on those discovery calls to effortlessly enroll clients regardless of the cost. And the fourth step is streamlining your practice to scale with freedom with your program delivery and your business building framework for we give you a business building framework for onboarding and business leadership, essentially. And this is just more proof of what happens when you go through this process with us. Carolina reported like instantly she sold her highest package. Then she came and told us that she literally just sent me this email, probably, I think, Kia, what was this, 2 weeks ago, that she had been able to sell 6 packages. She makes so close to 60K. Jenna's another FDN. Carolina's an MD out of Florida, by the way. Jenna's an FDN talking about selling her biggest packages. Pearl came right off one of our trainings, used the script and increased her price on her packages, enrolled somebody. Deborah did a free talk at her local library and enrolled people off of her version of the Total Transformation package. So this is how it works. Like, we're going to go into the nitty. Here's the details for those of you who are process logistical minded like I am. Here's exactly what's included, what's in the program. So the first thing is that you get instant access to our 4 self-paced modules. You guys can literally go in and consume this content in less than 4 hours. We have live group calls twice a month where you're going to get laser coaching with me. We also have interactive action items plugged into the modules like homework, where you're going to partner up with people in the community to practice these skill sets so that you have the confidence to execute on them. There's scripts, cheat sheets, formulas, call examples. You get to hear me doing sales calls. You get to hear me delivering sessions, results reviews. It's super resource rich. There's bonus content. You actually get a 45-minute bonus mentoring session with me once you complete module 2. There's a year's worth of newsletter and blog content, social media challenge templates, a business kickoff email template, things like a podcast pitch email template to help you go out and actually execute. We also have vetted website and legal tool referrals because we get a lot of questions about that stuff too. and you have lifetime access to the content, endless value. What we find is that there's so many resources in there. You may not be ready for all of them the first time around, depending on what stage of business that you are. So you can circle back through, and when you're ready for the social media content, you can use it then. Or as you go through the process of getting out there and working with your ideal client and using, like, selling your packages, you might want to come back and refine them. And so we give you lifetime access to all of this content so that you can use all of the rich resources that are in here and available for you over time. Now, there's a couple extra special things that we put in here. I made a promise to you earlier. Remember, I said that we put together a laser coaching opportunity with me for those of you who stayed till the end. Well, this is that special opportunity. As we know, the implementation part is where most people kind of stumble once they have the content, but we aren't going to let that happen to you. This magnetic content laser coaching workshop is going to help you instantly take your core marketing message and implement that into action. So you're going to take what you learn in the business essentials, and we're going to laser coach that stuff like I did earlier with Divine and Rhiannon earlier, to help you come up with those creative titles or topics or themes. You're going to get that support, and that structure in the business essentials. This is specifically for you guys here because of this training that we're going to do an extra focus session with you. So what you're going to do is, once you go through module 1 to get clear on your niche and module 2 to curate your core marketing message right away, then you're going to come into this workshop. We're going to get down into the details and laser coach on specific topic titles, content, and content to attract your ideal clients. This bonus is only available through next Wednesday. And we've got one more special thing, action taker bonus. So this action taker bonus is for the people that are ready to take action, because we know that the action takers are most successful, and we want to incentivize and reward you for being an action taker. And we are invested in your success. And so what we're offering is for the first 10 people that take action, that raise their hand, that say, I am ready to have a greater impact and create a healthy income in my business, take better care of myself. We are invested with that with you. And so we are giving you $600 in what we're calling business capital cash. We're basically giving you business capital to say, hey, we're making an investment in you too. So the first 10 people who sign up are going to be able to take advantage of $600 in business capital cash with a special code. Kia's already dropped that in the chat there for you guys, so you can take advantage of that. So let's talk about the return on your investment. So the total program value here is over $17,000 based on all the content that is included. The actual investment of the program is $1,929. When we give you that business capital cash, subtract $600, and you're paying full price today for those first 10 people that sign up right away is $1,329, or you can break that up into 2 payments of $689.50. Remember, the business essentials is designed to help you make 10K or more, like Carolina did here, per month right away. I spent years and over $20,000 on various marketing and business programs trying to figure out how to get my business going and growing. And most of what I learned in those programs didn't apply to me because they weren't tailored for what we do as functional practitioners and coaches. The Practitioner's Business Essentials is a carefully handpicked and packaged program that will give you the most bang for your buck to build your client base from scratch if you don't have one, or get it going and growing. What took me years to learn, you now can learn it in just 4 modules at a fraction of the time and the investment. So I'll open it up for 5 minutes of questions. We have the information in the chat for those of you who want this framework, who want to get started on your success right now. Anchor it in. We're halfway through the year. Just think about where you can be at the end of 2024. You're going to 10x your investment right here when you take action. So if you've got a question, go ahead and raise your hand, or you can type it in the chat if you're unavailable to chat with us. So who's got questions? This is your time. We've got 5 minutes for questions, you guys. All right, then that means I must have answered all your questions and you guys know exactly what to do next. I see Vinay says, my wife is a very experienced doctor, but she doesn't understand business development. Can you help her? Yes. If she wants to work in this functional health space and operate a cash-based practice, that is exactly what we're here to do. It's exactly what you just saw happen with the Styles team. That's exactly what we've done in Carolina. We've got Heather that's also in our program, MD based out of Florida. Katie says, when you mentioned 1, 2, 3, repeat, you were talking about social media content? No, I was talking about your core marketing message. So your core marketing message is your niche pitch, your 3 transformational statements, and your story. That's the 1, 2, 3, hit repeat. Creates that core content, a consistent message that you're sharing out in the space, any space. You're going to share that on social media. You're going to share that in in-person talks. You're going to share that otherwise. We just keep hitting repeat. Even though you feel like you're repeating yourself, you're still going to do it. Okay. I see Tiffany with her hand up.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm having two issues. One is developing the package, and the other one is knowing which supplements to offer because everybody's wanting, the injections these days.
Who is your ideal client, Tiffany?
So I am looking to help the busy working mom with weight loss through improving gut health.
Okay. So I think that we could get even more clear about that. I hear a lot of category specific things there, dialing into the psychographics, right? So this is where when we know exactly who this person is, we're very clear about this. We're attracting a common person that has common problems that need similar solutions. So we know exactly what they need. You go from being an order taker to an expert guide. So you're going to take them on a journey of transformation. You are going to dictate what they need because you know better than they do.
Okay.
And so then we can construct, we know exactly what to put in the packages. So this is part of what we will walk you through in detail in our module 2 of our business essentials is that package design. And then we also teach you how to sell it, right? So this is that, if I go back to the process, like what you go through in the business essentials with us, step 1, module 1 is nail your niche and core marketing message. When we're clear about that, we know who we're designing packages to, we move into module 2, which is that profitable package design. Now we have something to sell, right? So then number 3 is we know where to find them, those targeted marketing strategies. And we have a proven consultation script, a discovery call script to show you how to sell that stuff.
Okay.
This is the 1, 2, 3 process that Team Styles went through, that Piper went through, that some of our other participants have gone through. This is that framework. So for in my biggest package, for example, I do include the first bottle of supplements. I don't know what those supplements are to begin with until I get their lab tests back. But what I do know, and this is what I teach you, is I have been able to look at what is that worst case scenario client, ideal client that's come to me, and what is the most expensive list of supplements I've ever had to do. And so the price of the package is based off of that worst case scenario. And if I end up having to supply them with less, then I'm more profitable in that scenario, right? But I'm covering my expenses. You also don't have to include supplements in your package. But we can talk about other benefit features of your package, like every active client of mine, they get a 20% discount on their supplements. And a lot of people might say, yeah, but that cuts into your revenue. Sure, in the beginning, but it actually recovers revenue because now they're not going to Amazon or finding other places to order their supplements on their own. And they actually continue to stay with me I've had clients stay with me for 6 years Because once I take them through a package, we roll them into a membership and they get to continue getting that supplement discount while they're still in that membership model. So now I've generated revenue with them while transforming their life for 6 years. So these are kind of some of the detailed strategies that we really walk you through in that framework. Does that make sense for you, Tiffany?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Jenna says, do you have steps someone can follow to figure out their niche, even if they are feeling very unclear? Yes. I love that you asked this question, Jenna. We have very specific exercises in module 1 about helping you nail your niche and create that core marketing message. And I'm a very practical, tactical learner. So what happens is in the module, you're going to listen to like a 10, maybe 15-minute video of me explaining the concept and the concepts and giving you the training. And then you're going to get into the worksheets and you're going to do the exercises. And the exercises are how we're going to extract the insights. And then we have the live group calls twice a month, and we have a private community. So in our private community, every single day, multiple times a day, you can be dropping questions in there, getting support from me, our peer mentors in there to help you curate this. We are with you. We are alongside you through this whole entire process. And remember you also get a bonus 45-minute session with me. So once you get to module 2, if you're still uncertain about anything at that point in time, we're going to laser coach on that stuff for 45 minutes. You're going to walk away from that session with the clarity. Katie says, what are your recommendations for length of packages? I offer 3 months, 6 months, but more people prefer a 3-month plan. Oh, Katie, yes, we talk about this in module 2 also. So I'm a little non-traditional in this perspective where I encourage you to base your packages on a total number of sessions and not a time frame. And I've learned that we can't predict what comes back from lab tests. Like think about a stool sample test. How many pathogens do they have potentially? Your protocol length might vary based on how many pathogens show up or other stuff. So when we go with a total number of sessions, it gives us the flexibility to meet the client with where they are, to not try and shove us or them into a specific container, right? Which actually creates flexibility in your schedule. So when I work with people, and I teach you guys this in the modules, exactly how this flows, is in the beginning, when we start our work together, get all the results in, we meet every 2 weeks. And then as they get more comfortable and compliant, we space that out every 3 weeks. And then towards the end, every 4 weeks. So like my package, my smallest package has 6 sessions. And based on how we space out those sessions, that package will last somebody about 3 to 4 months. That total transformation, ooh, we're getting fireworks for that one. The total transformation package that you guys saw has a total of 21 sessions. On average, that will last somebody 9 to 12 months. So this is also why I have 2 to 3 different package options, is so when you're in that discovery call, remember, you're forming an impression and you're giving an expert recommendation about which package is aligned to solve their problem. So we have an option to help people align with where they need to be based on the work that needs to be done. And you guys are all smart enough to know that from the beginning when you're doing your discovery calls correctly. Michelle, there are live group calls twice a month. They are the second Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. Pacific time and the fourth Tuesday of the month at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Ongoing, unlimited lifetime access. And you can submit questions ahead of time. So if you can't be on the calls, we will still, if you can't be on the calls, you can submit your questions ahead of time. We'll answer your questions and you can listen to the call recordings. The call recordings are made available within about 24 hours. Vinny, I think, are you asking about the question, the price of the program, the business essentials, or are you asking about the client packages that I'm talking about for $2,000?
It's the next slide that you had, Jenna. I'm not clear.
Yeah.
The
So
final slide. What is this?
Yeah, so this is the business essentials investment if you're going to do the program with us. Normally the investment is $1,929. We are doing, for the first 10 people who sign up, are getting a credit of $600, that business capital. So that brings the investment down to $1,329.
No, sure. I'll reach out to you, Jenna.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. I see some people are already signing up, so these spots are flying out the door. And by the way, you guys, we had over, we had about 2,000, or not 2,000, 200 people register for the webinar. So this replay is going out to everybody tomorrow morning. And so these spots are gonna, if these spots aren't gone tonight, they're definitely gonna be gone by tomorrow. So if you're on the fence about it, ask your questions now. Let's get that clarity about whether this is the right move for you, so you can take advantage of this business capital that we're offering. Divine says, I already have the FDM masterclass by Jen. Yes, Divine. So the masterclass was basically like a taste of this, right? And you and I, when we talked before, we talked about start here. And if you find yourself needing more support or resources, then this is the next place to go. Julie, yes, the live calls are also lifetime access. I'm scrolling up to see if we missed any other questions. Somebody asked, how do you reach out to the websites for the articles? One, I only do that if you think that that's a target area for you. On those websites, Mind, Body, Green, Elephant Journal, they have their submission instructions on there. And Rebecca, is there any way that I can send out my package details so we can see it clearer? Let me give that some thought for you. I mean, that's something that's really reserved for our training. And I would feel like I would be doing a disservice if I didn't walk you through in the training exactly how we came up with that framework and that formulation. So, all right, you guys, any other last questions? Okay, well, thank you all for being here. I look forward to working with you guys to continuing this work together to help you create your impact, and so that collectively we can have a greater impact together, because we are the game changers of the world. And I know that if we all come together, we can really make a brighter future for everybody. So thank you guys. Have a great evening.